What's up, folks? I'm Fonz, and I'm come with more real Kakuro. In this video, I'll be doing challenging 257 at a viewer request. Music in this video is made by James Paddock, or Jimmy. He is a very talented musician and composer, and also a very skilled wad maker, Doom wad maker. And really just an awesome individual all around. And it's definitely worth taking a moment to check out their SoundCloud and consider supporting them on Patreon. So I'll go ahead and get into this. Number 257. I like to take a moment to just appreciate the puzzle shape of this of these puzzles as I first look at them. And there's nothing to appreciate here. No, it is a blob of terrible horribleness that looks like it's going to be very difficult. But we could take a look at it. A lot of the puzzles in this app, not like a lot of them, but there's definitely a decent amount, have this shape or a very similar one. And it's definitely one of the tougher shapes. It absolutely is. But taking a look at it, we have sort of a 3x2 area up here, a 3x3 that is connected all the way through to a 2x2. And then we have another 3x3 up here, which is then connected to that 2x2 going down. And of course, everything being symmetrical. So it's really not an easy shape. There's a lot of, pieces that connect together and that interact with one another. And that makes it a little bit difficult. So you can't really easily split up this puzzle to take a look at, say, these two squares versus those three squares, because you'll of course encounter the problem of these two. You can really only split the puzzle that way, going this way and there, and then from there to here. But of course, even then, you're kind of comparing three squares against three squares, and you're really at the mercy of what combinations have you narrowed it down to yet. Like if one set of three squares is all low numbers, you might be all right. But if they're all numbers scattered around, then it's not going to be very useful. So that's one of the problems I've noticed with puzzles of this shape. One of the things that makes them exceedingly difficult. Oops, sorry about that. Hopefully I can still be heard, and hopefully I'm not manhandling my mic too much. But so we'll get into this finally after a few minutes. Of course, starting with the easy numbers. This one right here is kind of a gimme square. We know that has to be a 4 because it has to be a 4 or greater to go with the 13, and it has to be a 4 or less to go with the 5. So we have that. Coming down here, we can say that this is a 3-4 because that has to be a 1-2, 1-2. I don't remember if this puzzle actually gives too many easy numbers, but I'm just going to kind of piece in some of these quickly, because otherwise we'll be here for quite a while. So that gives us the 5, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so something actually I can say. It's not important yet, but it will be. Is a 8 cannot go in this column, an 8 cannot go in this row, and a 9 cannot go in this column or this row. And that's going to help us here in a little while. I did run through this puzzle, I think it was yesterday, so hopefully I'll be able to get through it in a decent time. Okay, so this is kind of a nice little gimme. 23 over 3 has to be a 6, 8, 9. With the 12 here, we know it can't be a 6, which leaves a 8, 9, which goes with a 3, 4 down here. 3 cannot go with a 6. Because it's got to be a 4-2, it can't be a 3-3. And so that's going to give us that. Likewise, this has to be a 7, 9 to go with the 16, but we know that a 17 can't go in this row. So that gives us a 9 there and then a 6. And then we have our 7 up top. Kind of go around a little bit more here. So the this 12 and the 5, that intersection right there, has to leave a 3, 4 with a 1, 2 and an 8, 9. Looking for other like really easy things. This one right here is going to wind up being a 7, 8, 9 with a 3, 4, 5 and the 6, 7, 8 up there. And actually, 7 can't go there. Math. Okay. And then oh, and you know what? Actually, hold up. Okay, yeah, this is sweet. So 6, 7, 8, 9. We already got the 7, and we can't have an 8. So this is a 6, and this is a 9. And that is a nice find. And that's actually going to connect all the way down here and give that 3, 2, and 1. So that's very helpful. We could take away the 4, the 3, and the 5. And that is that. Okay. Oh, you know what? We can't have a 1 there. So no 8, no 6. So an 8, 9 going with the 3. So this is a 12. That 15 minus 3 is 12. So we have 12 over 3, which means it has to be, so with the 8 and the 9, so the 8's going to leave a 4, the 9 will leave a 3. If that were an 8, then these remaining squares would have to be a 1 and a 3, which we definitely cannot have. So this has to be a 9. So 5 and 4. And then that is going to leave a 1 and a 2 for these two squares, which means that this has to be a 2 because it can't be a 1 because of that. And that gives us a 1, 4, and an 8 coming down. In this, we may as well finish off this this row. I mean, we're not going to be able to actually finish it off, I don't think, but we can at least like piece stuff in. So we can definitely have a 3 and then a 5. So 3 and 5 is what's missing out of this row. We already got a 3 there, so we can say that a 5 goes there, 3 goes there. We can get rid of the 5, the 2, and the 6. And I kind of want to keep making progress over here, but I feel like the puzzle's pulling me that way. But I'm going to keep trying to go this way. So this is a 10 right here. So a 10 and a 10 and a 9 makes that one a 9. Is that going to help? We could have a 1 and an 8. And that's it. This has to be a 1 and an 8. Okay. So if you were to add up these, all 4 of these squares are really like the hints for all 4 of the squares. So 18, we can take off the 8. So that's going to be a 10. And a 9 is 19. And then a 10 right here, so 19 minus 10 means that this is going to be a 9. And that's a bit of logic that you can always do. And you can even sort of see it when you start to piece really any like 2x2 in. That there's always going to be that kind of bit of logic. It's also the same logic that you can do to split up this puzzle in half. Is kind of adding up all the clues, like all the hints, and subtracting one set off the other. So knowing that these add up to 9, We have a, and this is not the way that I did this when I just ran through this yesterday either. It's kind of interesting that this actually works out. But knowing that this is a 9, it has to be like a 1 and an 8. So we know that that's one possible combination. It could be a 2 and a 7, but we can't have the 2. It could be a 3 and a 6. We can't have 3 and a 6. Oh, you know what? It could be a 4 and a 5. 4 and a 5. Totally a combination of 9. So 5 can't go there because of the 10. And if I just don't get too far ahead of myself, then we should be left with that. Okay, that was a lot less sweet than I thought it was going to be, but I'm sure that'll help. Anyway, you can still kind of see the pattern here though, that these 2 squares will always add up to 9. So moving on. Okay, and we can't have a 9. Still can have everything else though. All right. Oh, I could have, okay, I could have condensed this down a little bit sooner if I would have gone here. But yeah, I can't have an 8, 9 in this square. So that makes it there. In here, so remaining in this column, we have a 1, 2, 6, and a 7. Okay. So this can't be a 2, and that means that this has to be either a 6 or a 7. We know that the 6 can't go with the 12, so that's a 7 and a 5, and that's a 6. And that's going to make this one not a 6. So take away the 1 and the 7. And now this leaves us with a high number and a low number. And so we could probably do some work with that right there. So we either have a 9 or a 10 with that, which gives us a 6 to 8. Well, either way, we can definitely take away the 1 and the 2 for sure. And we already have the 6, so we know it's not that. That gives us a 7, which is pretty nice so far. That leaves 11, so that could still be either one of them so far. We could take away this 5 and the 8 and the 6. This is 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Can't be a 3 because of the 5. So we have a 6 and a 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait. Wait. No. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. All right. Can't have the 6 because of the 5. And that leaves us with that over there. Can take away this. Okay, actually, here's something. I probably should have noticed this earlier. So looking at this column, looking for a 9. Oh wait, we can't have a 9. Right, we can't have a 9. So this 16 was a give me from the start, and I just never noticed that. That takes away the 6, the 5, and the 3 though. And of course it takes away the 7, and the 5, and the 4. So that leaves us with a 1, 2 pairing. So this is now 1, 4, 5, and 8. Can't be a 5, can't be a 1. So this is the only place a 1 can go at this point. So this has to be a 1, that has to be an 8. My mistake from earlier was correct. And that leaves all of this. Sweet, so that actually pieces all of that in. From there, of course, we can knock out the 4, the 7, and the 1, the 4, the 9, and the 5. And can't have a 9. I should have noticed that sooner. So that's going to make this an 8 and a 3 and a 5. 7, a 6, and an 8. This right there, 2 with the 1. And then that leaves a 2, 5, 3, an 8, a 6, and a 2. And then yeah, that's going to solve this puzzle. That is only going to leave a 1? No, 3. Yeah. All right, perfect. That was definitely a tricky one. That was a tough one. That could have easily been like extreme level. Like, it was just very tricky to go through, and a lot of like little things to look out for. Doing it, a lot of little things that can kind of trip you up. I actually almost tripped up right there doing this just now. Luckily, I would have actually gotten, well, lucky, and I would have stumbled onto the right answer, but I very 50-50 shot. I could have wound up repeating the entire thing. So yeah, definitely a tricky one. I do like these shapes of puzzles though, with all of this stuff going on. Just because they tend to really like work your brain and make you think about like what strategies do you need to work on at this point, you know? It kind of gets you into that mode of thinking that there's stuff out there that you don't quite know yet, and that you got to learn. And that's always an interesting thing about really puzzles, and something that's kind of kept me coming back to Kakuro, despite, you know, over the years, like take a break here and there, but seem to always come back to it because there's always still something presenting itself to, you know, as a new thing to learn. And that's kind of always a nice thing. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful, and take care. Bye.